Welcome to the Barrels and Business Podcast. I am your host, Jade Green, and this is the podcast for beach-loving, barrel-chasing business owners. In the next hour or so, I plan to give you as many tangible tips on how you can grow and build your kick-ass team, scale your business, and live the epic life of your dreams. So stay tuned while myself and my guests bring you all of the best. Hey there, and welcome to this episode where I am joined by the beautiful Elisa McRae, also known as Princess Crystal. She'll tell us a little bit about that a little later.
You found that.
The amazing Elle, though, she has successfully co-founded not one, but two seven-figure businesses. She's raised a couple of those mini humans as well. She's lived all over the world. I think she'd lived in 3 countries before she was even 18. She's been everything from the debriefer at Laser Tag to a makeup artist and a fashion design student. She sold those PABX systems, for those of you in my vintage that knows what that is. She's been an international DJ promoter. She's even sold vending machines or rented vending machines. But now she is the $1 million mortgage broker coach. She is focused on team and business growth and lifestyle and mindset. She is fiercely committed to helping mortgage brokers take back control of their business and their life so they can propel beyond the 6 figures and live a life truly fulfilled. That sounds like my type of girl, for sure. She loves her family. She loves adventure. She loves the ocean, which is why she's dear to my heart already. And today we're going to talk about leadership through external adventure and, a bit of our people and culture stuff and why it's so important to building a sustainable business. Elle, what did I miss?
Hey, not much. I'm getting flustered by you saying all that stuff. I'm not used to people talking about me like that. So.
Well, you did just tell me you were popping your podcast cherry. So
I am.
I'm very
real.
It's one of my favorite things to do, to be honest.
Oh, good. Have you done it often, Jade?
I've done it for a few people.
Yeah.
We had an amazing lady named Shelley from Skate Connection, which I think they've got a Skate Connection up near you, down near you, I should say. And yeah, so I ended up getting a skateboard out of it. It was amazing, so good.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, what did I miss about you? What do you think the audience needs to know?
Basically, the 2 businesses that we have started are mortgage broking businesses. So they're the 7-figure businesses, and that's why I coach mortgage brokers. But I have been coaching mortgage brokers since about 2009, off and on, one-on-one, then had kids, and now I'm back doing online programs mostly and sort of group coaching online. So yeah, you haven't missed much. 3 countries is right. I was born in Italy, grew up in South Africa, then moved to Albury Wodonga for a couple of years, did my last 2 years of school there. And like you said, I just tried.
A little bit different to whereabouts in South Africa were you?
On the southeast coast. It's called East London, just a little town. Yep. And actually now I'm on the central coast of New South Wales, and it's such a similar spot. Just a tiny little town on the ocean, grew up on the beach. And even being in Sydney was hard because we were sort of inner west of Sydney, and we've just been dying to get back to the ocean. And we've been up here now for about 4 years, and it's just amazing. Just love every second of it.
Amazing, beautiful.
Yeah.
I do love South Africa. I've been a couple of times.
Oh, good. Yeah, whereabouts?
I've been everywhere from Cape Town up to PE, through Kruger, everywhere. I managed to. Beautiful. I wanted to pretend I was like Kelly Slater. I managed to break my toe at J Bay 1 year. So
how good is J Bay?
Yeah, I was there the week after the WSL.
Oh, no.
And so there was a nice amount of swell that was far beyond my skill set. Hanging down at the point, but it was winter. And I'd been in Europe for 7 weeks before. So let's just say my paddle fitness and my pop-up was little bit of work. and I was wearing booties, and I hadn't worn booties for ages. Even when I was in Bali, I didn't wear my booties, and I kept catching my toe, but I didn't feel it because they were fucking frozen.
So cold.
And because I'd playing football before, I only just recovered from turf toe, and so I caught it. I took it off. It was black and purple, and yeah. So I spent 4 weeks of the trip just in my UGG boots, getting to watch my ex-boyfriend at the time, or my boyfriend at the time, get barreled.
Yeah. You'll have to go back.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I'm just learning how to surf, so I'm getting there. But I love the ocean. I love everything about it. So yeah, maybe one day we'll surf together.
Tell us about your board.
Alex, my husband just bought me a new one for my birthday. So
the best birthday present.
Yeah, the best birthday present. I sent you a photo.
Oh yes.
I can't remember what it's called, but it's a massive board. But finally it's like a fiberglass, but it's not. I used to just have a foamy, so I've had a foamy up until now, and now I've got a real board, but it's still a long board.
Go you. Excellent. Yes, we will definitely have to go for surf. 100%. I need to get up there. I've got a couple of clients on the Central Coast, and Kyle, who I usually co-host the Team Engineer podcast with, is in Newcastle. So
nice. Okay. Yeah, Newcastle's beautiful for surf.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. You're also a snowboarder, right?
Skier.
Oh, ski.
Yeah. Love.
I saw snow.
Sorry. You saw snow. Yeah, exactly. I'd love just anything to do with the snow. We missed out last year, and we've got so many holidays booked at the snow this year. I'm so excited.
I'm envious. I've only been once, and I feel like I need to up my game for the winter sport.
Absolutely do. It's just the most amazing place to be. I dream of it all summer, and then finally we now get to go. Yeah.
Well, that's probably a good segue into our topic of conversation: the adventure of surfing, the adventure of skiing in the snow. Talk to me, like, what do you see as the link of being able to run a high performance business, and why adventure is so important to the business leaders?
Yeah, so I just think, I mean, with any sort of leadership skill set, if you live a life of non-experience, like a life in a bubble, and you don't learn and grow, the ability to be a leader is much harder. With the exception, I think, of kids. I think kids are some of the best leaders in the world, and they can teach all of us adults so many things. They're just amazing at intuitively knowing the right thing to do and how to live. But in general, if you're an adult, I just think the more experience you can have outside of your work environment, the better leader you're going to be. Because if you think about putting yourself outside and any sort of experience where it's going to challenge you, where you might not have been before, and you think this is going to be hard, and you're a little bit scared, but you're excited at the same time, it's going to push you to that level of, you know, when you think, I don't think I can do this, and you're like that little train, you know, I don't think I can do this. I think I can. But in the back of your mind, you're probably thinking, I can't. And if you push through that I can't experience and realize that actually you can, you're going to push through that boundary of resilience that you normally have. And you're going to start listening to that other voice that says, I think I can, and then I can. And you're going to start believing that more and more. And I just think the more you put yourself in that experience of I can't and start listening to that voice that says I can, the more elevated you're going to come back into your business as a leader. And then also, if you think you're having a bad day at work today, without putting yourselves in those experiences, the more you do go out and put yourself in those experiences, the more resilience you're going to have towards those days that are hard. You're not going to think those days are hard anymore. And your level of acceptance of those days is going to go higher and higher the more you put yourself in those positions. So yeah, I'm just a really firm believer on it. I get all my clients to put forward a big challenge of the year every year, and they have to commit to it and, you know, put a date on it, and we hold them accountable, because they just come back revitalized, new people, and, you know, ready to take on the world. So yeah, That's
so funny.
my take on it.
I said just before this call, I was running a workshop. So I've literally just run a 2-hour workshop on building my clients' team. So they send all of their team members to build their 6-week get shit done plans. And we put in, one of the things that we have to commit to is, what are we going to do to live our life in the next 6 weeks? And, we do the risk and the rewards, but what's something that you've been wanting to do, challenge yourself that, let's not wait till you have a milestone birthday to jump out of that airplane.
Yeah.
Let's not wait, for someone's hens party or bucks party to do the surfing lessons. Like,
that's right.
What can we actually experience in the next 6 weeks that you've been putting off or waiting or not giving yourself the permission to, and we're going to commit to it. And then we call our, the managers within each of the teams are called their coaches. And so the coach is going to know, and they're going to hold you accountable, and they're going to help you see it. And this is where we're bringing together the team members that have similar goals as well to see it through.
Yeah.
Give me an example of one of them.
Give you an example of one of the challenges?
Yeah. Something that someone's either set or done already.
Well, my husband, I think, is the best one. So he went to New Zealand and climbed, it wasn't Mount Cook, but it was around Mount Cook. So he put himself into an experience where he wanted to climb mountains, but honestly, he's never done it before. And he had to go and buy all the gear, all the ropes, learn how to, tie knots, put crampons on, and spend 3 nights in a hut up in the middle of the mountains. And honestly, some of the videos that he brought back, I'm like, how did you not die in that experience? And even for me, it's too much of a stretch, even though I love adrenaline stuff and adventure, but that was like full on, right? And he doesn't often get to a point of saying, this is too much, I need to go home. He's such a strong-willed person. But he said even for him, he brought the wrong sleeping bag to start with. So instead of bringing like a winter sleeping bag, he brought a spring sleeping bag from here in Australia.
Oh, I hate the cold.
And he's in a hut that it's not insulated. There's air coming in. And he said he woke up to a pile of snow on his little bunk in this tiny little, and he was just shivering all night and freezing. And the next day you just don't get a chance to get warm, right? And he said to me, I've never done this before, but I was homesick and I actually wanted to be at home that night. And I know I really feel for him, and, my heart goes out to him ever feeling like that. But he's come home and now he knows that he can do that, right? He's equipped now and he's more confident. And I just think you lead better because you're more confident in yourself as well, because you believe things about yourself that you might have not believed before. So that's the most extreme, I think, for ones.
Wow.
But people are, people are at different levels. Some people want to do the 5-kilometer mud run. Some people just want to climb, do a hike, a 5-kilometer hike. So it really depends on what your comfort level is now. And as long as you're pushing yourself outside of that comfort level and you have that doubt in your mind that you can actually do that, that's enough, and then you can elevate more and more. So yeah, but I love that you said that, because I always say we work so much and so hard to live our best life, but actually we need to live our best life to run the best business we can. So
or just to be the best in, I teach it for team members, so I get all of my clients to do this stuff with their team. We work on the whole human. I challenge them to do these sorts of experiences. I put them through ice baths. I take the team surfing.
Love it
because of all this layering, and again because it teaches them the grit, but also because happiness is the greatest hack to productivity and profitability. And when like you said, once you've had that experience and learned that stuff about yourself, you've expanded, right?
That's right.
So imagine we can encourage all of our team members to do that. How much more beneficial is it going to be for us as the business owner to have them on our team?
Exactly.
Right.
That's right. You can't stuff them back into that box. You're not getting back in that box.
They don't go back in the box.
Yeah.
My scary one for the year, and I'm extra scared because it's graduation on Thursday.
Yeah.
Today's
so you got to do it before
we're recording on a Tuesday. I had for about 20 years said I wanted to do dance lessons. I used to dance for Ministry of Sound when I had a modeling and promotional agency.
Wow.
3 years ago, back in the day.
Yeah.
But that was freestyle, right? Like we didn't have to get choreographed and everything. And when I did do choreographed stuff, I was always the flyer or the somersaulter or the whatever. I never had to fucking pay attention to the dance steps. And I was like, I've always wanted to twerk and I've wanted to learn like new dance moves and stuff. And I'm like, I'm too old, I'm too this. And like, I don't go to nightclubs anymore, so I don't go out and dance.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm going to set myself a challenge. I'm going to join a twerk class. So
no.
I did it because I put it down on my bucket list in New Year's. And I was like, fuck, now I need to do it. My copywriter does booty pop and twerk and stuff. She's like, right, here's the places you can go. Yeah. So I actually have to perform on Thursday night to the rest of our dance studio, obviously.
Oh, okay.
It's not like a public event. But I'm petrified. I'm so petrified. I'm getting a private lesson this afternoon because I'm so
I need to see this video, Jade.
Oh my God. Well, last week, because I had COVID and we all got COVID at dance class. And I know that because I didn't leave the house for over a week. It was the only place I did go that week.
Yeah.
So we did twerk from home. So I had this whole setup and I had to do it out here on the tiles because you have to wear knee pads so you can slide. So last Tuesday night, I was doing twerk from home on my balcony with my knee pads and just really begging that my 65-year-old neighbor didn't look across. But the things that I have learned, like for me, I'm dyslexic and trying to like the learning I need to learn to do. And I kind of struggle to keep up with the group. And sometimes I get things back to front and I get so worried about like my old football coach is like, oh, it's painful watching you. You can see the cogs turning in your brain. It's fucking painful. My surf coach was like, he's like, for fuck's sake. He goes, you're like, you just make it look awkward because you're thinking so much. And it's like, so I stand at the back of the class. I'm like, it's beginner lesson. And I'm like, I feel like it's really hard for me to relax and just, nobody cares. No one's looking at me, but it's really hard for me to relax into it. So it's really taught me I get in there and okay, all those fails, just shake your ass.
Just start freestyling again. Like
just shake it. But I'm like, and I really realized that I couldn't do some of the moves. And I had a few drinks with my girlfriend the other night. I showed her the video. I'm like, I can't fucking do this. And then next minute there's this weird leg thing. And she's like, babe, you're doing it. I'm like, oh my God, what did I just learn then? I just learned that I can watch it. If I replay it and I visualize doing it, what I need to do is not overthink. And sometimes I just need to trust and go with the flow and just let the flow come through rather than like when I overthink things. And I found there's been so many times in the last couple of weeks since that moment that I've been trying to force my way through something or think my way to perfection. Yeah. That when I've just gone, it's funny because I'm reading the surrender experiment and I don't know if anyone will ever link twerking and the surrender experiment into a business learning, but I did. I'm like, I just got to surrender to the flow.
Surrender to the twerk.
Surrender to the twerk. Surrender to the universe. Just let it flow. So much more fun.
Oh, it's so true. Like honestly, that's when the best things happen. And I used to have a real thing about doing. You know, I've got the list, the to-do list, and everything. And I started working with a coach because I was having all sorts of mental health issues because I was so hard on myself and perfectionist. And he said to me, "You need to." Yeah. As entrepreneurs, I think that's a necessary trait, but it's good to notice it because he said you need to do less and be more. And I had a real problem with that. I was like, I just don't, how do I do less and get stuff done? I just can't. And it took so long to actually undo and unravel all those belief systems. But now I know that if I just stop for a day, and even though it feels like nothing's getting done and I sit there and do nothing, that's when the creativity comes. That's when the ideas come. That's when the flow happens. And it's so true. Yep. Maybe I should learn to twerk and
You should learn to twerk. It's so fun. No, but then I got addicted. So I was like, well, if I'm going to the studio for twerk, I'm already here. So I may as well do whatever the class is after that. So I also do this floor one where we do somersaults and all sorts of things.
Oh, whoa.
Or get floored. I'm like, yeah, this is my jam.
You could be like, you know how Pink, that's her difference? Like when she does performances, she does trapeze and everything. There you go. Yeah. There's your difference.
Yep. That can be my this is my difference. We on Tuesdays we do 6-week get shit done plans and we twerk. No.
We learn to surrender through the twerk.
Learn to surrender. Yes.
Brilliant. Well, you've just inspired me because my big scary thing is singing. So I've always wanted to sing. I'm a terrible singer. I sing in the shower. And I've always wanted to get lessons, but I'm so scared. I can't get past myself and my self-consciousness and actually opening my mouth in front of somebody else. So yeah.
There is I know of 2 coaches within our coaching program that we're in that are singing coaches.
Do you?
Yes. I can't remember the names right now, but we'll find them after this, and I challenge you.
Me. Okay, I'll accept the challenge.
Yes. High five.
High five.
When are you gonna sing by? When are you gonna get a lesson by?
So end of July. Oh, we're a bit busy till August actually. Let's say September because we're going away a lot. We're scared. Oh, is that too far away? I guess it's April. A lesson,
you can have one lesson to start because you need to do a trial and figure out your teacher.
How about May for my birthday?
When?
May for my birthday.
May for your birthday. Okay. Yeah. In the show notes, show podcast people, put it in there for us, please. Publicly committed she is.
Or feel free to leave it out.
No, it's there now.
Okay, I like it.
So these are the things though, right? A lot of the stuff that you've talked about is so linked to flow. So I study flow with the Flow Research Collective. I'm a high flow leadership coach through them. But the thing that's a common thing we find with leaders and peak performers is their inability to slow down. Like this is my biggest challenge I've had with doing the program. And I've always known, like, I coach everybody. I've been a flow consultant and a performance consultant for 5 years or 6 years under another model.
Yeah.
And I teach the importance of meditation and slowing down and space and refilling our cup, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But I still managed to somehow convince myself that I've slowed down, but no, really, I probably know.
No.
And one of the big things I have to do with a lot of my clients is in their 6-week get shit done plans, it's milestones each week of where we're going to create the white space. So how many massages or saunas or sunrises are you going to actually do? Because one of the big flow triggers is we need to program our RAS in our brain to find solutions, but we need to give it the space to be able to think and find it rather than do what I do and overthink, like clonk, clonk, clonk brain.
Yeah.
Right? Like, honestly, they did I got asked to do a 30-day surf challenge documentary to see if they could take someone who was a little bit not so great to getting barreled in 30 days.
Wow.
And you can watch the videos and you can see my brain thinking. You can also see me doing a somersault over the front of the surfboard.
Really?
And my coach is like, I don't understand. Like when we're coaching you, it's fucking painful. He goes, and the minute the coaching session's finished and we'll all just go out for a surf together, you're great.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah,
oh, that's because I forgot to think then.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. Our thinking gets in the way of everything. Like,
Well, the number one thing he said I had to do is every session I wasn't allowed to go in the water until I got to the edge, grounded, and set my intention. And my only intention for the session was to have fun.
Good.
There's nothing that we're not getting better. We're not trying to get barreled. We're not doing a turn. We're just going to have fun.
That's so good.
And I think if we can do that with when we're going into our business experiences, all right, okay, how can we make this more fun?
So
Because when we
true.
have fun, we learn. When we have
Yep.
fun, we integrate.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. And not only learn, like, you just learn so much about yourself. The other day I was so stressed about business and trying to get all this stuff done. I've got a launch coming up, and you know, all these things that were stressing me out about all the cogs in the business. And I just had to take myself off and lie down for 5 minutes and just not think and do nothing. And it's really hard for me to still do that, but I just lay there for 5 minutes, and almost immediately I had this like wash of calm come over me, and just almost like this idea settle on me. I didn't make it up, it just came to me that all I want to do is deliver and be with my people. And so that's all I'm going to focus on. And all I've done now is focus on being with my tribe, being with my members, and delivering to them. And the rest is still happening, funnily enough. Like it happens, and it happens so much better. It happens in more flow, with more order and peace and calmness. And you get so much more done, which is, you know, contradictory to what people think. But yeah.
So now let's like break the brains of the business owners, because if we know that, right, and we know it to be true for ourselves, how do we teach our team and allow our team? Because so many of business owners like, but I pay them by the hour, not to fucking lay down, figure out a download, right? They'll just get lazy. So like, if you're thinking about the culture and how you do this with teams and how you lead them, what's your best advice on that? I'm sorry, I keep having to shut the door because there's a bloody lawnmower.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, me too. I had to close all my windows, and it's so hot here today. There's all this noise outside. Look, I think with a team, I think as a business owner, as a leader, there's a lot more of nothing that needs to happen. You need a lot more nurturing and time, because you're the creative. You're the person that's coming with the ideas and has to take space and breathe to be able to make that happen. You're also delivering and, you know, being with people. Your energy is being taken, so you have to vamp that energy and just, you know, keep some of that for yourself. But I think the team is obviously still important when it comes to that. I think for the team, it's more about solidifying morning and evening routines. Like, I'm so big on them and they sound so boring, but if you don't have, especially if you get busy and you get overwhelmed, if you don't plan your day the day before, you know, for the next day, and you don't plan out your week for the next week, I think for the team that has to be a real set in stone from the leader down, in taking time to plan out the next week, sharing, you know, your daily calendar. As a business leader, here's my calendar for the week. This is when I'm available. This isn't when I'm available. And having, like, I'm so big on planning. I just talk about planning all the time. Again, it sounds so boring, but actually, if you sit down at the end of the day and you plan your next day, if you sit down at the end of the week and plan your next week, you have so much more time and more space to be the person that you need to be to deliver the things that you need to do. So I think when it comes to team management, that's the main thing, is teaching them the meditations, giving them access to what we learn, like the you know, all the resources that we're learning, and teaching them as well, so that they're treated as leaders as well. But I think time management and having the space to actually deliver the things that they're supposed to deliver, and not over cramming somebody with a to-do list, really figuring out what their genius zone is, so that they can deliver what they're good at and what they love to deliver, so that their energy is like multiplied when they're doing it, and taking away stuff that they aren't good at and don't like, and spreading it, you know, spreading the love. I think they're the things that we need to put in place for our teams.
Yeah. What I love about what you were saying there is teach them the stuff that we're learning, right? Pass the knowledge on, help them to be self-led, and give them the leadership skills, give them the life coaching that we get as leaders, like as business owners, pass this on to them. And this is why I love my clients. Let me coach the team as the whole human. So I get to do their stuff with their team members that they would never usually have. So when they do, like I referenced 6 week get shit done plan again, because we just did it this morning. But in that, it's like, okay, how do we do our ideal week plans? So
Mhm.
let's map out the projects and not all the little shit. Like, let's just get clear on what's important, get rid of the rest, and let's figure out how we can create our ideal week plans. Not just your ideal week here at work, but your ideal week for who you are as a human. Like, when are you going to pick, what days are you going to pick your kids up? Like, because that's going to make you feel less stress and you're going to show up more. You're going to feel more recharged, right?
That's right.
When are you going to, what days are you going to go to the gym? How do we work that into your work schedule? Like, who do you need to communicate on the team so that you can say, hey, on Wednesdays, I'm going to be in a little later because I'm going to go and do this yoga class.
Yeah.
And we start to communicate and the framework. And then I think this is what helps the business owners when we have the languaging and the structure, because I say that the number one thing that creates freedom is discipline. And that's the same for our team, right?
So true.
If they want the freedom to create their own weeks and to be flexible with their hours, they need to have the discipline of reporting or showing or communicating what else they're going on and the things they're achieving. And once we can do that, like, the business owner doesn't get, where the fuck's Sally? It's 9:00 on Wednesday morning. Oh, Sally's at yoga, but she'll be working back later tonight. So I know I can give her that project then.
Yeah, that's right.
And she's
and like
be
you said,
and pumped.
Yeah. And like you said, treating them like leaders so that they're adults and they are respected with their time so that they can take time for themselves and get stuff done. But we're also trusting that they're getting their work done. So, empowering them. And also, like you said, you don't have to get into the nitty-gritty of all the different tiny projects. You have to be able to hire on culture and values and know that you've got the right people in place so that you can just hand over a project and trust that they will get the things done the way you would do them, almost, have your voice and have your back.
I want them to do them not how I would do them. I hire people in their genius that are the opposite to me, so that they get the shit done way better than I can do it. Don't do it like me. Do it like you.
I need detail-oriented people.
I
meant with your voice, having that you're having your back in your voice so that it sound, it's still your business and your values. But exactly.
It's got your DNA through it. Yeah. So on that, then you talked about hiring for culture and values. Walk me through your beliefs around this. How do you teach your clients to do that?
So we have a hiring process. We've got a team hiring program that we teach, and it's the exact things that we've done in our businesses over the past 17 years. We've hired 4 top 10 lenders in the country and award-winning admin staff. We've learned through our mistakes, obviously, and the main things that I teach is don't hire out of desperation, don't hire in a rush, and don't hire for experience. Every time we've gone through that process and we've tried to hire somebody with experience to get things done quicker, it's just hasn't worked out for our business.
How hard is it to untrain bad habits?
It's so hard, and but also, people come in with a preconceived idea of what they do and how they do it, and they, I don't know, just their values are different. So we're very firm on hiring younger people who have not got the experience, and they shadow us very heavily. There's no expectations on them for that first year, and they basically become mini Alex's, who runs the lending business, mini me's. They just become these little mini people that know exactly how you do things, how the business works, and the training is minimal because we've got training processes in place, but it's more about shadowing you, and they already are the person that you need them to be. So that's the main thing that I teach.
Love it.
Yeah,
I come from 13 years in headhunting and recruitment prior to focusing purely on the people and culture side of things. And I've trained, I lost count at 152 recruiters that I've trained from scratch. And we had a really firm policy to not hire with experience. And I let the wheels get off the wagon. In my last recruitment firm, my headhunting firm, I had investors, and they had convinced me to hire some people with experience. And I'm like, what? I'm like, hold on, I'm the expert. What? But we did what they did. And seriously, it was a fucking disaster. And
it's crazy.
I would really look back and I'm like, why? Like,
why did we do that?
But friggin' at that stage, 10 years or 11 years not doing that. Why?
Yeah.
And it's like they wanted the quick wins. It's like, it's not the quick wins. It goes against everything else, everything that I believe. And it really is like, sometimes you have to, if depending on the level of role, I do a lot of work with tradespeople. They might need a trade qualification.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Because, 4 years to learn how to use knives for my butchers, it's a bit of a setback, right? Yeah. we need them now. We're still hiring them.
Yeah.
But trying to get someone that's done exactly what we've done and only hiring that, or if they've got this type of background, is futile. And honestly, anyone that's listened to my shows before know that I love a book by Ben Horowitz called What You Do Is Who You Are. And it really is, the culture of your business is what you do as the leader. And so it's modeled off of that. So if you want people that truly are ingrained in your DNA, like your culture is what your people do when you're not watching. So if you want them to do stuff as well as you would do, in alignment with your values and your virtues when you're not overshadowing them, then you need to model it to them. You can't just,
exactly.
Because the biggest problem I think when people hire someone with experience is they think they already know it all.
Yeah.
And then they don't indoctrinate them and build the DNA. Like they just sit them at the
desk. You don't spend the time. That's right.
Them.
Yeah. Because that's why you're hiring them with experience. Yeah. Yeah, exactly right. And I think the other thing is KPIs around culture and around values, which most people don't do. And you say that to people and they go,
my people.
Yeah. And most people go, how do I do that? And I go, well, it's easy. If you know what your culture and your values are, you just make sure that people adhere to that, as they go forward. And that goes to your KPIs. That's right. They're measurable. Make it measurable. That's right. So I just
definitely.
Yeah. And you would be aligned.
It's a tough one for people to do, and because they're like, it's so intangible. So I utilize usually a 360-degree anonymous feedback. Like you can just use a Google form. We get an external VA to collate it so that no one can ever know what it is. But we get people to self-rate, and we use like a range. So I have the mindset model that I was trained in by Being More Human. Actually, they're up in your region as well. Like there's the sufferer, survivor, which are your victim level of mindset. Your passengers, they just do the bare ass minimum. And they're along for the ride. They're just sitting on the boat. Everyone else is fucking rowing when they're just hanging out. Right? You got your drivers. They're actually rowing the boat. So they're like rowing in the same direction. And then you got your thrivers. So if you thought of a dragon boat, they're like banging the drum at the front of the boat, keeping the beat, getting everyone going.
Yep.
Someone does get tired on the oars. They're like, you jump out, I'll row for you. Right.
Yep.
So if you can give some framework about what behavior sits with different levels of it, and people can then self-rate. Have you been a passenger for the last 6 weeks, or have you been in the driver's seat? Were you a thriver? Were you dragging other people through? Manager gives the same feedback, and then the team gives the feedback, and then you get an average, and that can be a very tangible result that you can link your KPIs and you can link your rewards and things like that too, and your performance management. If there is a really clear system, is there how else? Is there any other ways that you do that with team to be able to have the measurable?
No, we've got a KPI document that we use, but we literally, because we teach people how to instill culture and how to revamp their culture and find out what their values are and really go through that whole process. We just have them put those in the KPI document, and same thing. So, but it's not anonymous, during the every 6 weeks or whatever, they sit down and do their little powwow with the owner. They sit down and they self-rate, and then the person gives feedback as well. So it goes back and forth, and it also gives them that responsibility of, you tell me how you're going. And unless they're like dead set sociopaths, they're not going to lie about that stuff. So
But I think that another important thing that you had there though was about regular feedback loops. So you said 6 weeks as well.
Yeah.
And that open discussion and that feedback and getting people to self-rate and to give themselves feedback is so important, that reflection. And too many businesses are still, especially small or like scaling up businesses, they're still on, we do an annual review, and it's really about like reviewing.
Yes.
And they think it's just a review whether they're going to get their salary. It's like, no. Like, the team member should be reviewing you as whether you're doing your job to help them. We need to be reflecting on what's going on, that need to shorten those feedback loops.
And I think the other thing is holding the leader accountable as well. So I think there has to be that equality in terms of like our promise to you and your promise to us, because often we think of employees as, what can you do for me? What can you do for my business? But actually, what can we do for you to make you the best human possible as well? And am I holding up my end of the deal, or am I not? And so there has to be that open, candid flow of communication where people don't take offense. It's not a personal thing. It's just about business, and we have to be able to take that feedback and move on. But I think the leader needs to obviously lead with that and be able to take it as well, and open with what I think I'm not doing well enough. How, this is how I think I can improve. Do you agree? Is there something that I haven't done well? How can we move forward together? So I think if it goes back and forth and the owner is accountable as well, and often, they don't want to be because they're not doing the things that they should be doing, but that's where it starts, and you can't expect your people to be those people without you being those people. So yeah.
That is my mic drop moment. Bang. Bang. That's the mic drop. Because that's like the number one way you grow your business is being held accountable and having that real feedback from your people, because you don't know what you don't know. If you need to park your ego, and if you really want to be held accountable, you need to speak so they can hear you. You need to be able to serve them and meet them where they're at. And if you want to get peak performance and continue to retain your people, you need to know if they're happy, and you need to know how to serve them and recognize that this is an alliance, not a dictatorship.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly right. And they're invested. Amazing.
Yeah. Tell us, where can people connect with you if they're a mortgage broker who needs to take their business to the next level, want to get their life back on track and propel beyond the norm? Where do they go?
We love inviting people to our Clubhouse group on Facebook. It's an open free group for all mortgage brokers to come and learn more about business. We've got trainings in there. We've got open forums. I do live videos every week. So it's just a great place to come and connect and have an open mastermind. And I'm sure you guys will put the link down there somewhere, because I don't
put the link in the place somewhere around. It'll be in the show notes, and potentially on the screen.
Yeah, and if you search on Facebook, the Mortgage Broker Clubhouse, it should come up as well. So yeah, that's where we're at.
Well, thank you so much for allowing me to pop your cherry.
Thank you, Jade. It was a lot of fun.
And I think that we'll need to do a round 2 at some time in the future, because there's a few other areas that we align on that I think would be amazing to unpack.
I'd love to. Anytime, Jade. Thank you so much for having me. It was a lot of fun, and I hope people got something out of it too.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Jade.
Bye, guys.
See you soon.
Thanks for tuning in to the Barrels and Business podcast. If you are ready to build your kick-ass team, you're looking to scale your business, or you just want ways that you can get wet more often, make sure you head on over and connect with us at barrelsandbusiness.com. Actually, while you're at it, why don't you just hit subscribe wherever you are watching and listening to the podcast right now. I'll see you guys on the next episode.